Alex, you're looking very smart today.
Thanks, babes. I've got a date with a celebrity.
Oh.
This station has more faces than the world of showbiz.
Opened in 1868 on the Metropolitan District Railway.
Joined by the Piccadilly line in 1906.
So let's explore the many faces of Gloucester Road.
In this week's episode...
All right, in we go. Well done,
Lovely.
City.
Look at that, Law.
If we give that a bit of vintage.
Well, this is a real mixed bag of originals and replicas.
Touches of gold in it,
There's a
hasn't it?
lot of different shades. That is how much.
He's a gentleman, isn't he?
I don't know, like a fantasy land of eggs and... Woo!
Oh.
Hello!
We've got two
They're
tips.
saying hello.
Oh, hello, welcome to the Hidden London Hangout today. We are here, guys, and isn't it beautiful?
Brilliant day to come and see it. Really showing it off well today.
Isn't it?
And look at the beautiful indication of the origin of the station there, lit up, glorious sunshine.
It's lovely to have Laura here today because look at the tiles, darling.
I am loving the exterior. It's an absolute feast for my eyes. And if this is special outside, I'm wondering how special the inside's going to be too.
Yeah.
Now, interestingly, when we were here, first of all, we mentioned in the introduction many faces of Gloucester Road. Sid's, Chris, what is the deal with this? Because on one side, we've got this amazing Leslie Green frontage, this facade, and then we have this Metropolitan District frontage here.
Yeah.
Presumably this bit arrived first.
Yes, quite a bit before. So this was opened in 1868 when the Metropolitan District was opened. I mean, it's a very typical Victorian building of that era, actually. Not very many of those survive, actually, in London. I mean, it's almost reminiscent of Marlborough Road, if you guys remember that. It's got those kind of arches, or Whitechapel. Whitechapel's got a similar one to this.
Yeah.
It's a really, really great example of it, and it was quite an important station because it was an interchange between the Metropolitan and the District Railways. Had 4 platforms originally, one as an island and then 2 either side of it. So, you know, from its very earliest days, an important one, and then joined literally side by side in 1906 by what we know today as the Piccadilly line.
And so basically Leslie Green designed that and then they ran out of Oxblood red bricks and they left a gap. Is that what happened?
Oh, it's just gorgeous.
Well,
They probably tried to build something on top of it and then just didn't.
Yeah.
With those buildings, you needed that second story of the building for the lift winding equipment. You didn't actually need it all the way across. Okay, so that's why it's joined a bit oddly like that. And as we can see, it's currently called Gloucester Road Station, as the gildings just come off the A.
Unfortunately, it's the A.
Yeah, but also that gilding it's a rare example of how some of the stations had that gilded frieze across with the station name, because some of them just have black letters, some of them have white letters. Here you've got gold.
It's gorgeous.
Golden ones. Which is rather lovely.
Before we go into the station, we have got a special key to be able to go and see into some of the underbelly of this station that isn't accessible to the public. A lot of what we're going to see today is visible when you're travelling through a station, which is rather nice. You can come and see those bits for yourself.
Yeah.
But there are some bits that we're going into which are firmly off the beaten track. So should we start with that door over there?
And this is what the staff are calling the wine cellar?
Well, it's good job I've got my jacket then. Good job I've got my jacket then.
Yeah.
Day to evening
Pop
wear.
your jacket on,
Day
we're off
to
to the wine
evening wear.
I
cellar.
think you're going to see once we get inside. The dress code went years ago. All right, in we go. Well done,
Lovely.
City. Oh, straight away we see what we like.
The excitement levels are up.
What do you reckon then?
Beautiful. That is really good. I'm just going to put my jacket on because I look less girthy when blue than orange, but also look at these.
What I like about this is you've got the 2 designs of these border relief tiles that you see in usually in Leslie Green stations. There's the pomegranate design and the acanthus leaf design, and there aren't that many pomegranate ones that survive, and certainly not in that good a shape.
Well, and normally it's not the Simpson and Son ones that have pomegranate. Normally they do acanthus leaf, and then isn't it Walliscroft that normally had the pomegranates. So I wonder down below whether we'll find any remnants of tile makers.
Speaking
of down below, yeah. these tiles down here are a different shade. And
but what's interesting then, you look there,
yeah,
and it doesn't look to have been
the
replaced.
skirting board or whatever it is,
Yeah.
the skirting.
so I wonder if these actually are the original Metropolitan District era ones, and then there's been a border relief tile added on top.
We talk about embellishment as well, because look at the ceiling.
Yeah.
You've got that amazing coving up there. And presumably this would have been a way into the station originally, would it? This is what this is all about.
Well, yeah, I think you should go down and have a little looky in the cellar
wine
down
bar.
there. Yeah.
Shall we?
You go first. I'm just going to revel in the beautifulness of these tiles for one more second. I need to go over and have a closer look.
Yeah, look how
those
beautiful
tiles
that
are
is.
different to the ones that we saw at Mark Lane, which are much brighter,
Yeah, they were much
richer.
brighter.
They're just so
green, but-
decorative though, aren't they? They're really beautiful. Right.
Okay, lead
Over
on.
to you, Alex.
Come on, come on.
Say where when you see it.
This is where I've got my jacket
Yeah.
in the wine bar.
So what you see what you say. Oh gosh, it's way bigger than I thought. Oh gosh.
This is big. Is there
And he's walked past it.
what? What?
Lexington.
So you've got a bit of ornate arch.
Oh, so I did. So what would this have been then, guys? Because we're underneath the station. I can hear trains over there. But what would this have been?
Well, you know when you're at the front, you've seen all of those windows on the original building of this arch shape. Well, it's just a continuation of that sort of architectural scheme. And you can see if I go right up here, there's a keystone at the top.
It's very smart. I mean, I like it, but it doesn't really feel wine barish to me. What's down there?
Oh, I don't know, let's go and find out.
There aren't any lights. Is there? Oh my goodness! Look at this.
Give him a try.
Just flick
There we
this on and
go.
see what happens.
Okay, rave location found.
Wow, it's quite huge, isn't it?
Oh, look at this. This is quite cool. Look at this.
Oh, I know what this is.
Arches.
It's because they've built on top of what used to be a canopied
That's right.
platform area, and they've built on top of it now for that shopping centre and everything they've got. And so this is just going over the platforms.
Yeah, it was originally built with a iron and glazed roof over the whole set of the platforms. That was later modified down into separate canopies, and then it was fully decked over. So it could be built on above with the shopping centre development.
So today, why is it lit like this? Because we've got really posh floodlights all over this bit of this building. So what? And it's exceptionally clean. So could this be used by somebody now? Could it? I mean, as you say, it would be a great location for a party, wouldn't it?
Well, it's a real mixture of fill-in and original structure. That is the top of the tunnel.
Also, guys, can you hear when you're quiet? You hear people's footsteps on top.
Oh my God!
And
you can hear a tinkle.
And if we look just over here, you've got this mixture of original arch, brick arch, layer of old plaster, and then new brick, breeze block. It's a real
hodgepodge.
Yeah, and then these big supporting girders to bear all of the weight of what's above.
I've got my jacket on. Where's the wine?
Still no wine for you, Alex.
Ah, man.
We're on the company time, you can't be having wine.
Right, okay.
So, should we go and explore station proper?
You see, the other thing about it is the roundel, beautiful roundel there, lovely AJ Wells roundel, but it's got the big U and the big D. I've not seen that before. Are there others?
There's one at St James's Park, to be honest.
Gorgeous. And one of the special buildings.
Gotta love a big U and a big D.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what else is worth a look. There's a remnant of part of the older station, which is on the wall just inside the ticket hall. It's a nice open ticket hall as well.
Yeah, it's good. Oh, look. Now that, guys, looks familiar above the lift.
Yeah,
Right.
that's that
Metalwork.
arts and crafts wrought iron that used to be over the lift for the Piccadilly line.
For detail as well, isn't it?
It's really lovely, yeah.
So the fact that you've got a disused wrought iron lift grille there tells you that lift number 1 probably no longer exists, and therefore lift number 1's lift shaft, and possibly
VP?
lift number 2's lift shaft, might be a place that we could go today.
Right, cool.
Yep. Empty lift shaft, what's not to love?
Well, look, it's going to get dirty, so I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to put this in the office. Let's have a look at the...
You and your jacket today.
yeah.
He's going out with someone tonight, but he won't tell us.
Well, I tell you what, let's go and see platform 4, which is no longer in use.
Okay.
Following you. So, guys, just look up a second.
Oh.
Look how pretty those are.
Well, they are.
It's kind of a nod to history, but with a heavy dollop of the 80s in that canopy, isn't it? It's that's juxtaposition right there.
But they really fit the kind of glass atrium, I think.
Yeah.
It's really interesting though, isn't it? Because when you look back at history on these tube stations, we were talking earlier, weren't we, about Tottenham Court Road and Marble Arch. Both had this weird, it's very 80s.
It's the signature of the 80s, I think, though. Think how many shopping centres.
I was just thinking that. This is very much like a shopping centre.
It's like tubular steel and, yeah.
But these would have been on the platform originally. You know, when you see old images of original Metline platforms, they always have these kind of bowls.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see versions of them out there on the platform areas today. But it's a nice view out over there, isn't it? That sort of daylight getting down into the ends of the platform. So,
Are we heading to the platform?
Well, we've got the key. Let's go to platform 4.
Let's see the secrets.
I think you've gone past it.
What?
Oh no!
You've missed the door.
So sorry.
Oh.
Hello.
She likes it.
Oh, it's a
look
royal
at this.
box.
So we've got our own private bridge.
Oh, now then, that's a really nice shot. Look at that. That's
Wow.
really nice. Look at that. I won't touch it. But
I'll
do
put
it
my
on that.
phone away, I'm not allowed to take pictures yet.
A mess room or something.
So, Lord,
at
you might want
that.
to get a photo here. Look,
Do you know-
Thank you, Chris.
Oh dear.
Thank
The
you.
things that go on
Amazing
off camera.
I like the symmetry.
It's gorgeous. Do you want to go
Oh,
there
this
and take
is
your photograph?
cool.
Look, you need to
It's
be
all right,
in the
isn't
middle.
it? Are we all going to tourist here? I think we
Middle.
are, aren't we?
Always, always. I was just saying, isn't this everything you'd want from a photograph of the tube, bar the train?
Oh, if we got 2 in right now, that'd be
Oh, your
quite
picture's
good,
better
wouldn't
than
it?
mine, Nixie.
It is
Well,
beaut.
That's really
We can
nice.
share it round.
Okay.
Should we quickly selfie? Or?
So,
Yeah, yeah.
So, just to explain, we've got platform, the original way it was laid out is you've got platform 1, platform 2 and 3 as an island, and then platform 4 over there. But it was originally quite a narrow platform. This island one was terrifyingly narrow, really. So it was widened into what we know today, and that of course meant there's not enough space for the double track that used to be over on that side. And so platform 4 became redundant at that point.
And that harks back to what you guys were saying about the history of it, because it would be a 4-track terminus or
well, so
station.
This is where the circle
joins.
was born.
Yes.
Because here's where you go. If you're on the circle, you bypass Earl's Court, you go straight up to High Street Kent.
You got your wish.
I'm riding the train. Look at
James
this.
Bond moment.
Isn't
Jump
it
on
just?
it.
So originally you would have had the district railway running into these platforms and the Metropolitan running into 3 and 4. The configuration that we've got now is the one that came along in the 70s, and well, it means that we have a disused platform to go and have a look at. So, shall we?
Yes, and it does, just to say by the way, Laura, you'll love this because I love to hoon around. It feels like I'm riding the roof of a train if I do this. I feel like a
you,
child.
Alex.
Whatever works for you.
Woohoo! I'm off! Look at this, I'm so sorry by the way, the members of the public who wonder what the hell I'm doing. Look at that, isn't that cool?
There's the shot that we wanted. Ah, too slow.
You were
Right
way
then.
too slow.
Come on then. We're going to need that key again, Sids.
Hey Siddles, have you got your number 2?
Yep.
Oh wow.
This is quite a functional looking area, isn't it?
Wow,
Not
this
for
is
passengers.
really cool. Okay. It's not. We're still recording, right?
We are, and I'll just take this opportunity to say we've had people asking who is the extra member of the team, is the cameraman. Well, welcome to Mrs. Tripod.
Does Tripod have a name?
Not yet. Maybe we could do a naming.
Anybody?
Trevor Tripod.
Trevor.
Trev.
I think it's a
Or is it a lady?
Tilly.
Well, we should maybe have suggestions.
Very posh.
Tallulah Tripod.
Suggestions, please, from our
Yes. Stick a comment down below. Do you know, I still get a bit of a buzz when I'm given the chance to hold the key.
I know, that's why we do it ever so seldomly.
I know. I still get such a kick out of
very
it.
exciting.
Small child, very excited.
So here is the platform in question. It's the one that no one goes to.
And of
I love
course,
the fact there will be members of the public.
And look, there's the lights that you were referencing upstairs. Carry on down here. But
Steady on this, Siddles.
The lights actually give it a lot of character for me.
Oh, train in. Wave to the driver.
oh, and look at that, guys.
So I'm going to start us, I know where you're going, Sid, but I'm going to start us with this feature here, a revetment.
Or a
A revetment. It's a retaining wall, effectively,
Yeah.
because we're in cut and cover here. You're in a trench in the ground, and that's just holding back the ground either side of the railway. It's effectively another arch.
Why the
into ground.
slant?
It helps with the forces in the ground, and you can see we've got an arch coming out to these pillars, and then an arch over the top of it.
Is that, by the way, is that called a weep hole?
It is. It's a weep hole.
Well done, you.
It weeps, the wall can weep.
And it just allows groundwater to weep out and drain rather than build up pressure behind the wall. Okay, we'll let the train go. It's quite loud.
So, I've got a question for you guys. Thank you very much for telling us about the weep holes and the revetments and all that. What are these things shrouded in plastic?
Well, you might have remembered there used to be a display on this platform that had a lot of eggs. Like a kind of, I don't know, like a fantasy land of eggs. And, woo!
Oh.
Hello!
We got two tips.
They're saying hello.
I love that.
That was a toot and a thumbs up.
Toot.
That was lovely. Yeah.
So this platform is used by Art on the Underground, and here they are just setting up for a new display. So the eggs have gone, and something else has.
It's
replaced
literally
it.
under wraps, so we can't show you at this point.
Because it's secret.
But before this goes out, I think we'll pop back and get a shot of it, because it'd be kind of rude not to show it.
It looks big.
Well, it's always lovely to meet new chums on the Hidden London Hangouts, and today we say hello to Eleanor Pinfield from Art on the Underground. Hello, Eleanor. First of all, tell us about this amazing piece of artwork at Gloucester Road.
Thanks, great to be here. So Gloucester Road has been the sort of historic heart of Art on the Underground's programme. It's a disused platform that sits next to the live platforms, the District and Circle lines. And we there have the incredibly exciting opportunity to work with artists in 3 dimensions. So launching just a month ago in May, we have this incredible work from the artist Monster Chetwynd.
I mean, the name itself is fabulous, isn't it? Monster Chetwynd.
She's got form in names. She's changed her names a few times. She was previously known as Marvin Gaye Chetwynd, and then she changed it to Monster.
I love her. Love her.
Yeah. It's a really interesting way of thinking how she is as an artist in different phases of her artworks. And yeah, so Monster Chetwynd, she works in a lot of kind of pop cultural, historic, engaging methods. And with us, when we asked her to do Gloucester Road, she really got interested in the history, the sort of origin story of Gloucester Road Station and how it came into being. And that led her to nearby Hyde Park, just close to the station, where, as many people will know, there was this great exhibition in 1851 in a building that got nicknamed and has now really come to know as the Crystal Palace. And the income from that great exhibition is really what founded the museums district in the South Kensington, Gloucester Road area, Albertopolis, as it sometimes gets called. So it was really linking that origin of why those stations came into being. And they came into being in the 1860s to support the growth of this museum district around Exhibition Road.
And it's a fascinating bit of artwork because it's huge for a start, and there's several of them. But the characters, if you like, the animals in it are sort of what you might find at the bottom of the sea.
Well, for Monster at the bottom of the pond, definitely. So it's called Pond Life. Albertopolis and the Lily is the title of the work, and what it's showing is this interesting history of how the Crystal Palace's architecture was formed. And it was designed by someone called Joseph Paxton. He was actually head gardener at Chatsworth House, not an engineer at all, but he started building there these amazing glass structures to house the plants at Chatsworth. And in the sort of early 19th century, it was the first time that these huge lilies were brought back to the United Kingdom from what was then a colony, from Guyana, from British Guyana as it was called then. And they got called the Amazonian water lily, named after the Queen, Victoria Regia lily, now known as the Amazonian lily. And these were such huge structures that a child can stand on them. So huge, so strong, a child or a small adult, we say, don't quite know where the line is. A child or a small adult can stand up on them and be supported, because although they look incredibly lightweight, they've got all of these longitudinal and transverse veining that makes them really, really strong.
You're really into this, aren't you? You're loving this.
Yeah, really into it. And it was that inspired Paxton to make the Crystal Palace, this very, very light structure with all these thin transverse bars on it. That's where the idea for the design came from.
Now, you mentioned the water lily as well, but sorry to interrupt, but you mentioned the water lily at the far end of that platform. We can just about see a salamander and a water lily. I mean, you do have to suspend a certain element of belief, don't you? This is a proper cartoon moment in your underground journey.
I think it's wonderful because of it does have that surreal moment when you see it for the first time. Yeah, so it's 5 discs rather that are 4 meter diameter, and then there's one salamander at the end, which has got a lily almost like an umbrella. And I think that's what Monster does so well. It's very playful and engaging, but it's also talking about quite a complicated history. And in fact, the various larvae, dragonflies, frogs, are building the Crystal Palace. That's sort of what they're constructing as you're looking at some of those discs.
It's genius. It's absolute genius. And as you say, there's a lot of research has gone into it, serious research, that then shows itself in this kind of quite playful way. How long is it going to be there? How long do you leave these things up?
This is going to be up for a year. So it'll be up until May 2024.
It's beautiful. And what else has been, because it's always interesting to hear from people on other bits of TFL. Art on the Underground itself, how long has it been going and how long have you worked there?
Well, that's a great question. It's been going in this current form since the early 2000s, when it was known as Platform for Art, thanks to this very platform. But I think you can always interestingly take back art commissioning within the history of London Underground to much, much earlier. You could take it back to the 1910s, the 1920s, the Frank Pick era, working with incredible artists. So there's such a long history of making artwork posters, but also physical pieces of art on the network. Like some people might know the Edoardo Paolozzi, for example, at Tottenham Court Road. So there's this incredible history that really excited me when I started, and I started in 2014. So yeah, 9 years.
And what is it about art that you love so much? Because you've worked at the Tate Modern, you've got quite an arty background, and now you're doing this for us. What is it that gets you going about art?
I think I just absolutely love contemporary art. I'm so excited by it, to me, and I'm excited by it because it's just a way to look at the world in a completely different, a different field of view. Every artist you work with has a different perspective on the world. All of them want to follow down interesting ideas, histories, theory, things that you might never have thought about, and bring it together in a way that's visually exciting. So for me, working in contemporary art is basically just a way to enjoy the world, to enjoy everything around you in a way that you might not have thought about before. And that's what excites me so much. It's so much more than what I thought it was when I was young, because I wasn't very good at drawing and I couldn't, do a good still life of an apple. It's so much more than that. It's about how you see the world, how you react to it, how we act as a community together in a space like on London Underground. It's an amazing space for an artist to have an opportunity to work in.
I love your passion. I just feel it literally coming through the screen right now. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure. Back to the station. Now tell me, Laura, this is the question. Why is it that they use this platform for art?
I think simply because it is disused, so they're able to access it and have these sculptures or murals or kind of displays along it. Yeah. And you've got great view. Look at the footfall of the other platforms where people can see this side.
Look at the amazing audience we can have.
A natural, artistic landscape.
Right. Also, it's covered over. So you have a similar one at South Kensington, but that's open to the elements. It wouldn't be great to put an artwork in there because rain, wind, etc. This is covered, so protected.
Just take a moment to enjoy the view, actually, because this is a station. It reminds me, it's got that kind of grandeur of Baker Street, really, doesn't it? Because when you look at that, it's beautifully lit, those orange hues, the lovely archways, the beautiful lights hanging from the ceiling. There is something really grand about this. I know it's a big junction on the tube, but it actually feels like a grand place to wait for the train.
I was getting very Baker Street vibes as well, just that kind of the brickwork and the arches. And I think when we did the episode there as well, we all had that kind of feeling that when you step off the train, it's not just a normal like underground station. There's something very kind of special about it, and I think I get the same here.
So much of the tube, I don't know whether you'd agree, so much about the tube that we see in these episodes, it just goes to show how moneyed London was and is as a city. It's actually a very well designed, it's a glorious looking network, and the tile work, the brickwork, the lighting, everything feels quite rich.
There's a lot here as well, isn't there? There's a lot of layers.
Well, and you've got to remember, when all of this was being built, London was the biggest city in the world, and it was the most populous and the wealthiest. So, you know, this was the crown jewel of kind of metropolitanism.
Let's go and see some beautiful stuff.
I also like the way you get this kind of colonnaded platform. It makes me feel quite New York subway. In that the way that you have those columns.
Well,
we always reference the equaliser, don't you, at this point? But if you look over on the far side of the platform there, you can see you've got these backlit advertising panels, which gives this kind of warm glow. So whenever I come through this station, I always love the way the light plays. You get the sunlight, you've got these very clean globe lights, and then you've got this warmth coming from behind the posters there. And there's a lot going on visually in here. That's before you get to the artwork. So
you've got the orange, you've got the Portuguese police station white, and then the
Why is it? How do you know it's police station?
Please don't ask. It was a long time ago. And the other thing to say is those black things with the white tape crosses. That's the old signalling, isn't it? That's now redundant.
Yeah, because we've got the in-cab, on-train signalling, and so those signals are still there, but redundant.
But also, notice on the District Line platform over there, that old light boxes.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Amazing. Look at
might need to get a better shot of that.
To go somewhere
I'll get one from the bridge.
Or to work.
Lovely. So,
well, of course, we're at subsurface level. If we burrow down, if we advance ourselves to 1906, we get the deep tube. Remember, we've got to try and find that disused lift shaft. It's down there somewhere. Let's do it.
It's aesthetically very pleasing, this station, isn't it?
It is.
And then that feeds into your other senses, which I'm enjoying.
So, okay, over there is a grate for lift number 1.
Yep.
You say that's, that's 3 and 4. So, therefore, lift 1 was in the dry cleaners.
Not only lift 1, but lift 1 and 2. So, this was originally built with those 2 lift shafts, 2 lifts in each. And sort of provision for 2 lifts in each. And then it did get the powers to turn it into an escalator station as part of the New Works programme in the 30s, but they never enacted it. So still a lift station. And as well as a lift, it's got spiral stairs.
And very interestingly, Silly, while we're here, that gives you an idea of how big these lift shafts are when they're dug. Because you can get those 2 lifts inside one shaft, right? That's enormous. And it doesn't always reflect that. When you're looking up at it, it doesn't always give you an idea of how big they actually are when you think about the infrastructure that goes up and down.
You wait until you actually see it downstairs, then you're going to see just how big it is. So let's do a walk.
Let's do it. Oh, tiles. Look at this. Right, so we're in the green zone here, and these presumably are originals from when it was built.
yeah.
This is
Look
gorgeous,
how
actually.
lovely
Look at the
these
colours.
are.
You
Kind of
describe this as forest green.
Forest
Sybil.
green, moss green.
It's nice though, it's kind of got little touches of gold in it,
There's a
hasn't it?
lot of different shades, just so many.
And because the ventilation duct isn't fitted here,
Yeah, you
Look
can
at
see all the way
that.
down.
Oh, is it a long way down?
yeah, it looks good.
Ooh. Makes me feel a bit icky.
And also we've got this twisted lattice mesh that you sometimes see. That's the original stuff.
Oh, lattice.
This is original,
It's making me think
Yeah,
of
it
apple
is.
pie.
Yeah, so
good
those
call, We're already
Edwardians
on
weren't
lunch.
losing their belongings down.
I love this. Hey, see, I never normally, I have to say, be honest, I'm so lazy.
You don't
I never
take
normally
stairs, do
stairs.
you? Alex Brandon.
Just look at the size of it, for goodness sake. It's beautiful though, I love these greens. There's almost an iridescence about them, isn't there?
That's a good word. Iridescence is the word of the day.
Look at that,
certainly
because they've
does.
kind of got yellow.
They are glorious.
Well, I'd say it's gold.
And if you look across it, there's almost like a pink, there's a very slight pink sheen to it. It's really, really pretty.
Right,
Lovely.
carry on.
Carry on.
Got traffic behind, so pick it up.
Well, this is quite cool. Look at this, do look at this.
Yes, sir.
2 ways out. That way.
I'll tell you
this way.
something though. That sign is probably right over a tile maker's mark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is really cool. This is very photogenic, is it? Look at the bit above the door.
There too.
And there, look right
Nice
above.
bit of.
And remember what we
Keystone.
discovered at Elephant and Castle? These arches painted in the same colour scheme of the station.
They're
pretty
demonstrated
sight.
beautifully.
So, where should we go? Which way?
Well, let's just head out onto a platform and have a look.
All right.
Oh, that's new.
Where should
Yeah, you
we
can
be?
tell.
Yeah.
Oh wow! Oh wow! Nice. Do you know I love these bits right outside the lifts because there's just so much detail. Look at the bit of architrave, all the coving around the top, and interestingly, the actual tile work around the lifts has been redone.
Yes, very 70s. That would look good in a 70s or 80s bathroom, wouldn't
Yeah, absolutely. And
Avocado.
also, well, this is because the lifts have been replaced. The original ones would have, been like 40, 50 persons lifts.
It does
People
look like they've
person.
tried to match this colour to below the pomegranate kind of style colour tile upstairs. It's not a direct match, but similar.
Well,
If we look
it's closer
here-
to the floor, kind of like an avocado.
Sea of green.
Yeah.
If you look just here, we can see we've got lift number 4. Now, we saw the sign for lift number 1, or the grill for lift number 1 upstairs. So that would suggest that down here,
Aye.
we are going to find the remains of that lift shaft.
I'm getting Aldwych vibes from this little
Yeah,
bit here.
it does have strong Aldwych vibes.
All right, who's got the key?
All
Who's got
right.
the secret?
I've got one. I've got a key.
Who's got the key? Is that the
So-
one, number 2?
More importantly than
number
who's
2.
got the key,
Who's got the torch?
who's got the torch?
Who's got the
And that would be
torch?
me.
Who's
So,
got the tick?
so do you have the key?
Let me take
the,
this so
key.
you can,
I have the
you can
mighty
light this
marauder
up.
ready to give it the beans.
Let's do
You
this.
ready?
This is so exciting.
Hang on, let me get you all in shot. There you go.
This
Oh,
is
it doesn't
so
work.
exciting. Oh, is it not that one? Is it not that one?
Do you know what?
I bet
You
you
thought you
used
had
to
the
have
key.
another key.
I
Oh.
believe.
Key confusion
I have the
today.
key. Sydney,
Amazing.
now you have the key.
Ah.
Oh,
That's
nice.
better.
Oh,
Lovely.
Look at it. Did you see that little kick?
I
She was
did.
trained to do that at London Underground School, wasn't she?
I've been to London Underground School.
Look at this, look at this, look at this. All the tiles just painted over green. Obviously, these are cream. So it's just a continuation of the theme, isn't it? Oh, blimey, what's that? That's
Well-
a sump.
That,
Look at that, Law.
if we give that a bit of beanage.
Hang on.
Are you there, babe? Look at that.
Oh, my hair is flying everywhere.
I'm so sorry, I'll hold your hair.
Ooh, what does that say?
Yeah.
CRDS
DS or D8?
8441.
Yeah. So originally, the plan for the deep tube here was actually originally for District Line
Yeah.
to build an express deep level, which the very first plan went from just one side of Gloucester Road all the way through to Mansion House with an intermediary station at what we call Embankment today,
Yeah.
they used to call Charing Cross.
And those were the tunnels at South Ken, weren't they?
And that's it. When they actually built a short section of it, they built it at South Ken, so that very short section of the District Deep Level Express. But then the District Railway bought out the Great Northern Piccadilly and Brompton Piccadilly line plans, and then by 1902,
Something like that, 1902.
UERL bought the District Railway and grouped it, and that's when the Piccadilly line, as we know it today, came into being. They started building what we know today.
It's a very lovely history lesson. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now this is lifts 1 and 2's shaft.
Yeah, so this is the entry or exit, I'm not sure which, to lift number 1, and lift number 2 would have sat next to it. But it's massive, isn't it?
Can you smell dry cleaning fluid? Can you smell perk?
That's a very specific bit of knowledge.
Perk is the product that they used to use for dry cleaning.
Is that the origin of feeling perky?
You would if you breathed it
too
in.
much of it. So these tiles have been blacked over in classic nothing to see here fashion that you do in sort of disused areas, but down at the bottom the green ones are still trying to shine through.
Glorious, glorious.
Very lovely.
We can't get any nearer than this, can we? This is as far as we can go, is
Well,
it?
as you can see, we've got these. We're certainly not going to climb past them.
No.
But let's just have a look around on the other side maybe and see if we can see
Yeah.
anything different from the other side.
Yeah.
It's a Baker Street bend. We've actually got a Baker Street bend.
It is.
Got another
Green, not
curve.
blue. Isn't that fabulous?
That is
She's
actually,
curvy.
You're
We
exactly
love
right.
curve.
Just from here, that
It's
is
Baker
very
Street.
Baker Streety.
And look at look at the little tiles you said before. These were particularly made to do these curves.
So just to check, Alex, the album cover, is it like this?
It's this one. It's the really bad second album. It's like.
I was going to join you, but it's just too good. With
No,
You get in there.
I'm not sure I can hang on. Which leg have you
Maybe
gone
this
with?
is the Hidden London book cover.
It's like we never liked each other anyway. I love it. Oh, hello. Here's the doors. Here's the doors. Here's the doors. Look at this. And so grand. It's so cool though, right? You know, we don't bother to look when we're using the tube. We're always looking at our phones, always looking at newspapers. Hello.
Life can just get very frantic though, and time takes over, and we're all kind of time poor, but
We're all busy people,
yeah,
Law.
flying from A to B.
Yeah, and you've got to remember also, I think a lot of people may pass by this stuff and not realise its significance until, of course, now that we've told you about it. But I think, you know, a lot of the time you just walk past that and go, oh, it's the underground,
Yeah.
innit? You know?
Have you still got the key for this one?
I
Is it
do.
worth having a bit of a... Shall I
Yeah.
hold that for you?
Yes.
You know me, I'm
please.
utterly rubbish.
You know what I'm hunting for, don't you?
What are you looking
Maker's
Are you
tile.
maker's
I'm looking
tile?
in case there's any maker's tiles
Yeah.
surviving in there. But I tell you what, though, there is, Alex.
Oh, hello,
Is
yes.
there's another Alex Grundon plate up here.
No.
Remember we
Let's have a
found
look.
one at Finsbury Park?
AG.
AG24.
Oh, and they're also
Been a few years
lights.
since then,
And
hasn't it?
a little moment of appreciation for Alex before, because he held my hair while I filmed because it was windy. That's
Any other
how
time?
much.
He's a gentleman, isn't he?
Do you know the
How
only
much
other time
we
I've
love.
ever done that is when a female friend of mine was being ill after a night out.
Don't. I knew you
Wow.
were going to say that.
Wow, look at
Which
this.
of course has never happened to
No.
people here.
Oh, Lord.
Well, there we go. So certainly no maker's tiles, but what we do have is we often see the last vestiges of these metal panels. I'm trying to think. I'm
squishing you, sorry.
Kentish Town.
Yeah,
I think
South
we saw
Kentish
a tiny
Town
bit
as
of
well.
it. Yeah, but it's nice to see the panels in place here as well. So there we go. That's as far as we
Lovely.
can go. Should we go to the platform now?
Yes. Do you want to turn the light off that I turned on?
This one?
Both
Excellent.
of them. Thank you. It's quite nice.
Yeah, it's rather.
Down to the platforms we go.
With an Australian accent.
Down under.
It's because you're close to Earl's Court, isn't it?
Should we go westbound first?
Yeah, let's.
Woo!
Oh,
And
there,
first to
straight away.
Hammersmith. That's lovely, isn't it? Look at that.
Immediately rewarded by a bit of original tiling, the original terminus. on the western
Say
side.
hi. It always makes me kind of happy when they wave you back.
It's the wave and the smile though, isn't it? They're like, yeah, hello. I like it.
Me too.
Also, chevron pattern, bit
Beauts.
like we have it down street,
Yes,
but down street's obviously in
absolutely.
a kind of
Oh
maroon
no, I
colour.
just scratched my ear and I have dirty fingers, so I have dirty ears now. Well, this is a real mixed bag of originals and replicas, isn't it? I mean, the cartouche, very new.
It's raised a little as well, so you can tell. Yeah.
It's fresh. But some of these, I mean, these are good replicas because you see there's even there's cracking in them. They've got a lot of variation in the colour.
Yeah, they've tried to do that kind of dark to light shade as well.
I mean, but here, the difference from that, though, to that, it's a bit of a difference, isn't it?
It's ambitious putting them side by side, isn't it? But actually, for a
Be
passing
bold,
glance,
be bold.
it works all right.
Go
for it.
That's original, guys, for sure.
You can see the
And
joint.
over the top of the tunnel, that's all original for sure.
We do like it
I
when
love it when it's tiled over the tunnel. Were you just about to say that?
Well,
So, now
we
there
went
is another little feature, isn't there?
You two know something that I don't.
Well, when Sidian arrived, we were on the same train, so we spotted this one earlier. So, it's nice to see this, isn't it? We sometimes uncover original station names where the station name has changed. But this one, very bright, isn't it? Now, I say that we sometimes find station names change. This one did have a slightly different name when it first opened. So it was called Brompton Gloucester Road. Gloucester Road in brackets.
Interesting.
And then eventually the Brompton was dropped once the Piccadilly line came along.
So many name changes at so many stations.
Absolutely.
It's complicated, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, we love a sign,
We
and
do.
there was one more bit that we saw on the way to the lifts when we arrived that's definitely worth a look. So, shall we?
Yes, let's do that. Hello. Look at this bad boy. Not
Oh my
lovely?
goodness.
So, enamel sign in a wooden frame, that's very old school, and she's on
It
it.
always reminds me of you. Was it series 1 we talked about the arrows?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Mexican,
Right?
the Mexican fly.
Yeah,
So
but
the
it always
Mex-
reminds me of you.
The Mexican arrow, and 4 flights, which means we know it's quite an old one. So, generally speaking,
Early 1930s?
yeah, if it's
Well.
4 flights, it's generally before 1933.
Yep.
And yeah, fabulous, right?
What a
No
lovely...
apostrophe of King's Cross.
No, controversial.
Lovely.
So, but nice to see that the frame is also still on brand.
Yeah.
It's painted green,
That green, yeah.
all
Well
going
done,
on.
guys. Good
Very
skills.
lovely station.
Right then, so
Lunch.
I think we're almost done. Yeah, so let's head upstairs.
Do it. Goodbye, Gloucester Road.
Adieu.
Do you know, looking at this station, it is a myriad of greens, isn't it? We've got the green of the District Line, we've got the green of the tiles in that entrance of the wine bar, we've got the green from the Leslie Green tiles as well. It really has been a tile
Even
fest.
the terrazzo on the floor has got a
Very
faint
pale.
green tint in
Yep.
it.
It's remarkable.
On message.
Great station though, right?
Absolutely. And more to it than we thought, as per usual.
What do you think of the tile colours?
Well, green is my favourite, as you'll know, so I'm in heaven.
Same.
Tile heaven.
And once again, we find out that you really have to come and see this stuff for yourself to know what exactly is there. As you say,
Absolutely
way
true.
more than by legend we thought to be here.
Yeah.
Lovely stuff. Well, look, thanks for watching. As always, find us on Instagram, Alex Grunton, Chris Nix, City Holloway, Hidden London Law, and at LT Museum. Thank you for finding us on YouTube. There's loads of episodes to go out from our past collection. And like, subscribe, and comment down below. Give us your questions that you want answered as well. And we'll be back somewhere very, very cool indeed, very, very soon. In the meantime, have yourselves a great day and stay safe.
Right, lunchtime.
Oh, yes! I need a sandwich!
Words to my
Should we get the
ears.
wine bar?